So we've had a lot of people asking for some pointers on how to skate the rails. A big mistake a lot of people have is they just think they can just ride straight on, but that's not the case. You have to unweight a little bit. So basically you got to think of yourself as being on top of your skateboard with your full body weight balanced on the board on the ground. Now you got to get your full body weight balance from the ground onto the rail, and you do that by unweighting a little bit. If you just ride straight on, you don't bend your knees, you're going to stop. That's the biggest mistake people have.
The three problems I see people having the most are getting on the rail, like you were just talking about, and then once you're on the rail, locking in the right way, making sure your wheels don't drag and touch the floor. And then the last one, people like to lean a lot, either one way or the other, and they're not directly straight up on their board. So,
All right, Myles, show us how to unweight.
Unweight?
Yeah, you got to bend your knees a little bit.
You have to bend your knees, and you kind of have to spring up a little bit. It's like this motion, like going like that. Bend the knees, spring up. You have to bend your knees when you land too, or else you'll be out of whack. And bend.
So bending your knees and unweighting so that you have your balance and full body weight here. Bend your knees, unweight, so you regain your body weight balance up here. Now, the trick is to figure out what you're going to do once you're up here. So once you get on, lift up a little bit. Your front trucks can touch. You don't have to lift up completely. Just unweight front foot first, unweight your back foot, get all your weight on. Now, once you're up here, you got to figure out what lock works best for you, because you need to lock your wheels in and your trucks. I like to do a double heel lock where my heel wheel, both of my heel wheels are in the rail. Some people like to do cross lock. That's when your back heel is in the rail and your front toe is in the rail. This would be a cross lock for a regular foot. This would be a cross lock for a goofy foot. I suggest figuring out what works best for you. Just go slow and just try to stop. Try to stop in the middle of the rail. First, just learn to get on, stop, learn this feeling. This is the double heel. This is the cross lock. Some people do the reverse cross lock, but you got to make sure you don't get in the habit of doing this, because once you learn that, it's hard to unlearn it. And this is going to be a problem down the road when you get out of the grind. When your back heel is in the rail, you'll be able to get off front side. You're not going to be able to do that if it's your toe that's locked in.
All right, so a lot of times when people try to get on to the rail and they don't unweight or bend their knees or anything like that, their lock-in is completely wrong. It just messes up the whole grind. So the things I see a lot of people doing when they don't get that right are as follows. Their wheels touch, the toe side wheels touch the ground. They don't get off of the ground completely, or they can opposite crosslock like that, which is also a no-no. So people can also do this sketchy one and have their toe side lock in, but the wheels on the heels are on the ground. So if you get your unweighting right and you're able to bend your knees and unweight and get up on top of the rail, those shouldn't happen. If you're able to heel lock the right way or cross lock. I personally like to cross lock on all the rails that I skate. So really just have to make sure that the heel one is the most important one, the heel lock. And then once you get the heel lock, you really just kind of move the front of your board sideways a little bit. So since I'm regular, stand on my boards like this, right? And so heel lock is on your heels. So you're locking in on this part of your trucks right here, this part and this part. And you'll feel the wheel lock in if you're doing it the right way. And then if you're gonna do a cross lock, since I'm regular, I'm on my board like this, right? So this part of your truck is gonna lock in the same as the double heel lock, but then this side of your truck on the front truck is gonna lock in.
Your toe side.
Yeah, your toe side. So you're gonna get in like this, and then you're gonna kind of slide it over a little bit like that. I feel like that's the most comfortable way to skate rails for me, because you're kind of facing forward also. If you're on it like this, you face forward more instead of double heel lock. It's good too, but you have to be a little bit more sideways. And if you cross lock the opposite way, like this, you're kind of going backwards. So it's a lot more scary, a lot more sketchy. But cross lock, your double heel lock. Both are good. Those are the only two you should know. So we just went over the locks, the cross lock and the double heel lock. Another problem that I see with people when they start to learn on these rails is they're leaning a lot. And I think that comes with bending your knees. So a lot of the kids that I teach, they always lean over like this. You don't want to lean over. Whenever I tell them to bend their knees, they bend their knees, but they also lean over. It's a squat. So you have to squat down, keep your sternum straight up. All right? Yeah, you want to stay over the rail. You don't want to be leaning off, or else you'll just step off the rail, or your wheels will touch the ground as so. If you're leaning, you're just going to stay on the ground. You're not going to get fully on top of the rail. But if you stay over the rail, you'll land it. It's that easy. Remember, you got to unweight, bend your knees. You got to lock in the right way. And do not lean over. You got to bend your knees when you land too. All right, so quick recap. First things first, step one, you got to unweight, right? As you're coming up to the rail, you have to bend your knees, and right before you're going to hit the rail, you got to kind of spring up a little bit. Spring up, and then once you're on the rail, you can re-bend your knees. And then keep your knees bent all the way through, especially when you land. Your knees have to be bent. And then after you unweight, once you're on the rail, you don't have to go the entire way. You can stop right here, just got to feel the rail. Step off this way, step off that way. Just be comfortable with the rail, be comfortable with your board. That is probably one of the most important parts, is being comfortable with it. So after you do that is the lock-in. The lock-in is very important, or else you're going to be all over this. And it's going to be super uncomfortable. You're not going to be confident. So once you get your lock-in, it's going to be a lot more easier. So cross lock, double heel lock. You pick. Yeah, don't reverse cross lock. It's a no-no. But you also have to make sure you don't lean. You don't want to lean one way or the other. You want to be directly up on top of it. All right? You just got to balance up on top of it. Balance is very important with skateboarding. So, and then like I said earlier, once you get off the rail, you got to bend your knees. So you're not so straight-legged, so you don't like step off your board or lean one way or the other and fall. Bending your knees is big part of balance. Yeah, and all these steps obviously are going to be amplified with some of our larger rails because they're going to be taller, so you have to unweight a little bit like more because you're going up higher. All right, so that's that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have any other questions, put them in the comments, and any other videos you might want to see or tutorials on how to do other tricks or different rails, let us know below.